This is an actual voodoo doll.
What would you do if you found out that someone had made a voodoo doll of you and has been controlling the outcome of your life? There have been real-life horror stories of this happening, and it's quite scary. Voodoo is something you should never mess with. From people using it to get away with crimes, to other people using voodoo to curse people. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Top 10 people who used voodoo for evil. Starting off this countdown, we have James Paul Harris. In April of 2011, a man named James Garrity disappeared without a trace. In fact, it was his lawyer that deals with his social security checks that was like, okay, where the hell is he? Anyways, this mystery wasn't solved until a year later. That's when James's skull was found on someone's property. When the property owners unearthed it, they contacted the police. It was found that the property owner's son, James Paul Harris, was responsible for the other James' death. Apparently, the two were friends and were planning to become roommates together, but they got into a fight and he shot James in the stomach. To make matters worse, he kept his head and used it in voodoo rituals. He literally would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for his dad's girlfriend that found the skull and then reported it. So thank gosh for her. In our 9th spot today, we have Julia Brown's curse. In the early 20th century, Julia Brown was a well-known healer and voodoo priestess. She would travel to a bunch of villages to perform different rituals for people. She became quite the hit, but eventually people started to take advantage of her. Now, here's a quick tip. Don't mess with people who know voodoo, like don't cross them, you don't know the powers that they hold. Anyways, in 1915, a week before her death, she confessed that she was going to curse the town. In fact, she had this song that she would sing, and it goes like this: "One day I'm gonna die and I'm gonna take all of you with me." I'm not making this up, apparently she would sing this over and over to herself. And guess what? Her curse came true. When she passed, the whole town went to her funeral to pay respects. While they were nailing her coffin shut, a hurricane swept in and tore through the village, killing some and destroying the whole town. Over the years, people have tried to rebuild the town, but every time they do, it always gets destroyed. People claim that this is from Julia's curse. Moving on to number 8, we have the mind control. In the 2000s, it was revealed that bad men were using mind control to keep their victims from misbehaving. So basically, they led victims to Europe saying that they had a promising job opportunity for them in Spain. These women were often very poor, so they would jump at this job opportunity. But once they arrived in Spain, they were kidnapped and exploited. It was then revealed that they were performing voodoo ceremonies and animal sacrifices in front of the women. During the ceremonies, the women were forced to pledge their loyalty to them. They were told that if they broke this pledge, then they would go insane, become sick, and then die. So the women were scared into staying with them. In July of 2015, the people behind this were caught and arrested. But still, that's pretty scary and disturbing. In our 7th spot, we have the Miami election. Back in 2013, voodoo was used to disrupt a Miami election. So during Anna Pierre's run, she found a bunch of voodoo items outside of her campaign office. The items included candles, chicken feathers, scraps of food, pennies, and a number of voodoo dolls with pins in them. I'm just hoping that she didn't touch any of the items, okay? That is absolutely frightening. But it didn't scare her. Instead, she announced to the media that this person's attempt to get her out of the race wouldn't work and that she was not backing down. In the end though, she did lose the election. Maybe this voodoo ritual had something to do with that. Who even knows anymore? Coming in at number 6, we have the voodoo ritual. In 2018, 2 sisters were accused of tying down and burning a victim as part of a voodoo ritual. Their names are Peggy Labossiere and Rachel Hilaire. They both were under the impression that this girl had a demon inside of her, and that was causing her to misbehave. So they tried to burn the demon out of her. They blew fire over her face and cut her to draw out her bad blood. Now, plot twist, apparently the girl's mother was the one who requested this ritual. She truly believed that her daughter had a demon inside of her. The 2 sisters though said that all they did was perform a cleansing bath ritual. This involves rubbing a bunch of oils and sea salt on people's bodies while chanting prayers. They then said that people sometimes get burned as the evil spirits leave the body, even though the victim said that's not what happened to her. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the drug cartel. In the 1980s, a man named Adolfo Constanzo was a cult leader as well as a voodoo practitioner. that worked for drug cartels and hitmen. He would then use his voodoo powers to help the drug cartel and hitmen. He gave them psychic readings because even bad guys want to know what lies ahead for them. And he would also cast spells to bring them good luck, to, help his clients from getting busted. Some of these rituals involved him sacrificing animals like chickens, goats, and snakes. But eventually, he moved on to humans. Eventually though, he was caught and he had one of his loyal followers kill him in order to stay out of prison. Moving on to number 4, we have the failed ritual. In 2018, LaTarsha Sanders was accused of killing her 2 sons, in which she claims was a voodoo ritual gone wrong. We don't know much about this case or what the ritual was intended for, but LaTarsha admitted it had to do with, and I quote, voodoo stuff. Apparently she started the ritual with one of her sons and then it failed. So she moved on to her second son and the ritual failed again. Sadly, both the boys lost their lives. In our third spot, we have Clementine Barnabet. Back in the early 1900s, Clementine was a serial killer and self-proclaimed voodoo priestess. The killings all started when she joined the Church of Sacrifice. That church operated under the belief that human sacrifice would pave the way for immortality. In 1912, she was arrested and admitted to killing 17 people. She also admitted to owning a voodoo charm that was said to protect her while committing these crimes. So she wouldn't get caught, but then she got caught, so clearly it didn't work. She was involved in some pretty gruesome killings. It's really crazy and also very sad. In our second spot, we have Reverend Willie Maxwell. Reverend Willie Maxwell was a voodoo priest that many people feared. Because so many people feared him and his voodoo abilities, it let him get away with a number of murders. The first was in 1969 when he took the life of his wife. Then his brother. Then in 1973 with his second wife. Then in 1976 he took the life of his nephew. And then his stepdaughter. Nobody wanted to cross him because of his voodoo abilities, until one of the victim's uncles got revenge on him and ended up taking his life. And in our number 1 spot today we have Josephine Gray. Back in 1974, a woman named Josephine Gray was accused of killing her husband. Why? Well, apparently he learned about his wife's affair with a man named Robert Gray. The two were charged with murder, but the charges eventually got dropped because they didn't have solid evidence and one of the witnesses refused to cooperate. A year later, the two got married. Shortly after, his family claimed that he started to act different, as if he was under a spell. In the end, it was believed that Josephine was using voodoo to do a number of things. 1, to gain control of the witnesses, and 2, to gain control of Robert. Eventually it was revealed that she was heavily into voodoo. When police searched her home, they found a number of voodoo dolls with pins in them. And she was also caught whispering voodoo curses during a sting operation to catch her. It's pretty creepy, honestly. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these stories creeped you out the most. Honestly, they were all pretty terrifying. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Real People Who Look Like Cartoon Characters. Mobile Mandy commented, "No neck Ed could pass for Fred Flintstone." They mean Ed from 90 Day Fiancé. I could see that. I honestly could see that. Okay. Maybe he should be in the next, Flintstones movie. Let's make it happen! Bradley Jones commented, "John Goodman was the perfect choice for Fred Flintstone." Okay, but I agree with this more. John Goodman is amazing. He's a good man. Eric Neiman commented, "Edith is not pronounced with a hard E at the beginning, but with a soft eh at the beginning." Edith? No, I've never heard somebody with Edith. It's Edith. I've never heard somebody say Edith. Am I saying it? Edith. It's Edith, guys. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just Canadian. Who knows? Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Whoa, that was the biggest voice crack I've ever had in my life. Wow.